Hello and good evening, and welcome to another episode of Ben Helps Student Problems. This time, what we're going to do is a little bit of recap. We are covering Java now, but for some review to keep our skills sharp, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys an example of making a blog with Node. And, oh, I forgot to add Express here. So Node, Express, Postgres, Sequelize, and Mustache. So this blog is going to have a login. Nothing too fancy. We'll do it like we did in class. And basically just going to have the ability to view and list blog posts. That's pretty much all there is to it. So to get started with this, what I'm going to do here is come up with some sort of site map, right? Because it's a good idea to think in English, so site map. If you guys aren't familiar with the concept of sitemap, it's really the pages that are on your site. You know, back in the day, people used to have these things called sitemaps. Basically, showed you, it was like a tree of pages that showed you every single page on your site. So first, we're going to have our home page. Now, this URL is going to be, at this relative path. Let's put it like, I guess, homepage, path, let's make this underlined. Homepage, underlined, path, not underlined. Is that? Okay. So it's a GET request to just this relative path. And the job of the homepage is really to, let's just say, list all the blogs. List all the blog posts, rather. Okay. So not only do we have a homepage, let's say we also have a login. So this login page path is at /login. Okay. So, oh, by the way, this path here indicates a GET request. So it's GET/, and that's the only thing the homepage needs to support is a GET request to that /. For this login, we need a GET request to /login. We also need a post to /login. So the reason why I need a post is actually to log in the user. So we'll get to that shortly. So basically, logs a user into our system, our massively, e.g. Equifax level insecure system. Okay. So we already have a page that lists all of our blogs, so I don't think we need another blog listing page, but we do need to have the ability to say if there is a current user when we visit the home page, show them a form to maybe add a new blog post, right? So where's that form going to post to? Well, maybe we have a post. Its path, let's say, to post a new post. We'll post it to post. Say that 5 times fast. So we have no GET request. There's no standalone page, which is like the post page. Let's just make it a post request to /post. This job is to accept post information and save it to Postgres, right? That's basically the entire page right there. And I'm sure we'll, maybe add bits and pieces as we go along, but this is the general gist of what we're trying to get at. Okay, so next thing I want to start with is the idea of what a blog post has. So a blog post, so models, I'll do this, make this bigger. Let's make this like a headline or whatever. So we really only have one model in its blog post. Let's underline that. So a blog post has maybe an author name. That's going to be a string. It's going to be required. It's got a title. And it's a string. It's also required. Oh, you know what we should probably be able to do since we have blog posts? Maybe view an individual blog. Maybe we have that as well. All right, so let's check this out. So we have /post, which is a GET. Let's see here. let's make this path posts. So we post to posts, right? So we post to posts. Let's say we also get posts at a specific ID, right? So that'll allow us to link to those specific posts. This might be a little confusing. Let's make this a separate thing here under post. So let's move this from here down here. So this displays an individual blog post. Okay, so that's pretty simple addition. So we have the homepage area, which lists all the blogs. We have a login, which will log a user into our massively insecure system. So after login, redirect back to the homepage. And then after post submission, redirect back to the homepage. And then, yeah, that just displays an individual blog post. All right. So we have our, well, we're going to have clearly, we're going to have an ID. I mean, we're going back to our model now. We have an ID, which is a string. Obviously, it's required. We have author name, title. And let's also have, let's have the contents. This is going to also be a string, but it's like a text string, meaning it has, it is meant to store larger values. Okay. Oh, also we should probably have a date, like a posted date. Post date. There we go. This is going to be a date object. All right, so these things are going to comprise our blog. Okay, so we have a pretty decent idea of the thing we're going to write. We have the web pages down. We have the packages that we're going to use down. I have the SQLized documentation open here so that I can, actually do this, because I'm, not confident enough to do it without looking at the documentation. This is the case for almost anything you'll ever be using. So reading documentation is one of the most important skill sets you'll actually gain as a developer. Okay. So first things first, I already have a folder open. I called it node blog, but it doesn't have any files in it so far. So what I'm going to do is crack open my terminal window. Okay. All right, so I'm going to cd into that directory, node blog. And I do npm init-y. All right. So I know I'm going to need, let's see here, Express, Postgres, so that's PG, right? SQLize, and I think Express Mustache. All right. Oh, also we need Express Sessions as well. I gotta do all that nonsense setup work. We'll have to look at the documentation on that. So this is a pretty verbose video. All right, so we're gonna install Express. So npm install express --save. For newer versions of npm, Luke has informed me that you don't have to do --save, but I'm probably always going to do that for my entire career. Okay, so we've installed Express. So npm install pg save. So this installs the Postgres package. All right. Now SQLize. npm install SQLize --save. Boom goes the dynamite. And Express session. npm install Express session --save. So we also have Mustache. I think, is it Express Mustache? npm Express Mustache. Spelled it wrong. Mustache Express. npm install Mustache Express save. Oh, and clearly I typed expression session. Thank you, brain. And you did that. All right, Express delete session. All right, well, that's all I know about so far, but I'm sure there's more. All right, so here's package.json just to confirm we installed everything we needed. So this depends on Express, Express session, Mustache Express, PG, and Sequelize. All right, looks like we're good so far. Let's make a server.js file. This is going to host our main server code. All right. So we know we're going to need to use Express. Const Express equals require Express. You know, some people, what they'll do is actually this. Since they only use Express to make an app, they just go ahead and call that immediately and make their app all in one line. The alternative to this is simply this, const app equals Express as a function like so. I'm going to app.listen on port 3000. So now I'm going to say app.get homepage function request response. I'm going to do res.send hi, just to get the ball rolling, right? So let's run it. Node server.js. Okay, doesn't display anything when I boot it up. Might want to change that. Localhost colon 3000. It prints back hi. So we're not rendering templates. We're not using session. We're not doing anything, but we have a running web server, and that is step one, right? That's an important step. All right. Because once we have this one small thing, we can add more things to it. So, in that spirit, let's go next to rendering templates. All right. So in order to render templates, I have to do const mustache is equal to require mustache. Let's see if I can get this right on the first try. Probably not. Mustache express app.engine mustache. And then we call this mustache as a function. And we app.use engine. I think it's mustache. View engine mustache. I guess we'll figure it out in a second if we're wrong. So here's our server code. It's nicely all in one spot. Let's make another folder which holds our views. We'll click here, we'll do index.mustache. We'll add some bogus HTML. Let's say, hello, sir or madame. How fairest the question mark. All right. Now, my Visual Studio Code does not have syntax highlighting for .mustache files, but I bet that I could install that real quick. So I'm going to install this package as a control, Command Shift P. Here we go. Install extensions. Let's do mustache. Mustache syntax highlighting for mustache. Install. Boop. Reload. Reload window. Check it out. Looks like we have syntax highlighting for mustache now. See, editors are pretty cool. All right, so going back to our server, we don't want to just send hi, because that just sends data back. What we're going to do is render our index file. We don't have a model yet to pass into it. So I'm going to close the server and reboot it. Row. How did I use? Maybe I'm misusing this. Set? Is it set? Okay, second try. See, nobody's perfect, right? I did app.use versus app.set, but here we are setting mustache as the view engine. We're registering mustache as a potential view engine here, okay? And here we have hello, sir, or madame. How fairest thee? Quite well, thank you, server. Okay, and while I'm thinking about it, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do console.log server ready to roll at port 3000. All right. Let's get rid of this guy. It's serving me no good right now. All right, so one thing I also want to show you guys is this. npm install dash dash npm install nodemon dash dash save dev. Save dev is different than save because it's not a production dependency. We're going to use nodemon for development only, thus the -dev portion of that. So while it's installing, let's look at the documentation for nodemon. Well, it may be installing it wrong. It might need to be a global installation, but we'll see. Okay, so npm install, it does need to be global. Okay, oh, or install locally. That's good. Instead, the local installation of nodemon can be run by calling it from within npm script. Okay, so nodemon, your node app. I think maybe I'll just stick with npm install -d nodemon. It's going to take another year to install. So the cool thing about nodemon is it basically monitors your node applications and restarts them automatically. Does this work? Yeah, it did work. So nodemon. Okay, I didn't give it a file, so. Oh, hey, it found index.js actually. Interesting. Okay, let's try this. Nodemon server.js. Nice. So check this out. If I minimize this window a little bit, let's say I make a change like capitalize this letter and hit save. You see it automatically restarted my server, so I don't have to go through and restart it. You might be asking yourself, why didn't Ben show us this sooner? Well, because you got to do it the hard way first, and then you can start doing it the easy way. But if you get to this point in the video, let me know about it because I'm genuinely interested as to who's actually going to pick up on this. So front-end team is really going to apply to you more than the back-end team. Okay. So we have our homepage, we have our running server, we have our view engine set up. Let's start doing some model work. Okay, so by model work, what I really mean is defining my schema and using sequelize appropriately. All right, let's see, how do I want to accomplish this? So my instinct, just to keep a clean separation of concerns, is to have a models directory as well. So we have models here. Oop, not inside views, on the same level as views. And then we need a blog post. I wonder if there's any convention for, let's make it lowercase, blog post.json. Not JSON, erg.js. All right. So what I want to do in here is essentially what we're doing with this guy, right? So I'm going to do this, require sequelize, and then require sequelize. Let's give this database of node blog, username, let's give it Rangerman, password, that's my, oh no, that's my current username. New tab, who am I? Ben. And I don't think there's a password, so let's just try it without it and see what happens. All right, so we're making a connection to this database. I should create the database. So I'll go here to my terminal and type create db node blog. Magically, it's created. So that's a Postgres command which creates the database for us. All right, so on to defining our model. Well, it looks like we have all we need really right here. I'm going to sneeze, and it's going to be loud, so I apologize ahead of time. You might want to mute your volume. Oh man, no, I thought about it. No, I'm not going to sneeze. All right, that's great. So anyways, they're defining a user, but we don't need a user. What we need is a blog post. So const blog post. Wait, is it? Yeah. Okay. Blog post equals sequelize dot define define blog post. So I'm defining a blog post, and I give it an object. The next object is the fields. All right. So we decided that blog posts, all of them have, scroll down, it'll automatically generate the ID, so we're not going to worry about that too much. Author name, so we're going to have author name. I don't like the camel case. Hopefully the adapter makes this lowercase, but we'll see in a second. It's probably not, if I had to guess. So I think that I could just do this, required true. Author name required true, and then if we look at the documentation, we can say the type. So type is sequelize.string. So type sequelize.string. You know what I'm going to do before I do anything else? Is I'm going to test this real quick. So to test this, what I actually need to do is basically just create a new blog post and try to save it. See what happens. All right, so I'm going to sync this blog post, sequelize.sync, sequelize.sync. All right. You know what? Do I want to sync here? I'll think about it. Let's see if this comes across any problems. I think it'll be okay so far. So finally, if I want to use my blog post that I just created outside of this file, what I got to do is export it. So I'm going to do module.exports equals blog posts. So now when I require this file, this blog post.js file, this is going to be returned, which is the thing we just defined, which is exactly what we want. All right, so I'm going to do const blog posts equals require /models/blog posts. Okay, so the reason why it's /models, that means the current directory, in the models folder of the current directory, we have blogpost.js. It's going to try and require that and pull back whatever it gets back, which is going to be the blog post model. All right. So now what I'm going to just do here is do, I think it's just blog post.create, right? And then author name is going to be Ben. Now let's see if that does anything. All right, so NodeMon should be doing its thing over here. Oh God, it's totes screwing up. So let's refresh. Sometimes, okay, dialect needs to be set explicitly. Oh, thanks documentation. I gotta set the dialect. So how do we set the dialect? Let's do getting started. Dialect. Here we go. I gotta give it an options parameter and specify the dialect. It's just Postgres. All right. So I'll go back here to blog post. This last parameter is dialect. I'm going to do Postgres. Refresh. Oh, check it out. NodeMan totally picked it up. All right, server ready to roll at port 3000. So create table does not exist blog posts, ID, serial, author name. It did not transform this properly, so that sucks, but it is what it is. Okay, and now in our GET request for our home page, now if we refresh it, we should see executing insert into blog post, ID, author name, created at, updated values, default, Ben. Yep. Oh, check it out. We don't even need to specify exactly a created at because it's SQLize already gives that to us. So post date, we're gonna use the created at field that SQLize gives us. Okay. All right. So ID, author name, created at, updated at. So if I open up Postgres using pSQL, I'm going to connect to node blog. I'm going to select star from blog posts, semicolon. And we see that it does indeed properly save one of our blogs. Now, downside to testing it like this is that I actually have to close my server, connect to some different database, and then drop my node blog database and recreate it. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to drop the whole database. I'm just going to drop that one table. Drop table blog posts. Okay, so that gets rid of the table in the database. So now we have no tables. So now the next time it boots up, it's going to create that again. But I don't want to do that yet because I got a couple more fields I want to add. So here's title. All right, we're going to have title as well with our blog post. Okay, so we have title, required true, type SQLwise dot string. Okay, and I spelled title wrong. All right, and now we have contents. Contents, required true, type SQLwise dot string. Boop. So post date, we said before, we're gonna use the create at field the SQLwise gives us. So we should be all set. So save this, and the next time we run our app, it's gonna write a new create table of not exists, but it's gonna have more columns. So we have author name, title, contents now. So not just author name. All right. Now notice that this says create table if not exist. That means if I had not dropped that table, i.e. deleted the entire table, then this would have done nothing a second ago. But I went into the database and I got rid of the table. So if I do this again, it's the exact same command. Now we actually see all the blog posts that are a part of our app. Okie dokie artichoke. So this seems to work. So I'm going to get rid of this test guy right here. So pretty quickly, we're up and running with Mustache. Up and running with SQLwise. Looks like we got models specified. What are we going to do next? Let's go ahead and, you know what we haven't done? We haven't done our middleware to parse the body of our form requests. So let's just do that right now. So if we have a form submissions, we have form action equals /posts, method equals post. I know that might be a little bit redundant, but it is what it is. This is the form to post a post, right? So the data that we need whenever we create a new blog post is the author, the title, and the contents, essentially, right? So we have label for equals author, name equals, no, there's no name for labels. That's just for equals author. Okay, so we say author, colon, label. We haven't been using labels too much, but they are an important part of your everyday life when making forms. Input type equals text, because this is just a standard text box, single line text box. Its name is author, and its ID is going to have to be author, because the for field, for some dumb reason, points to ID instead of name. Don't ask me why. Ask someone who knows better. You know, I'm curious, actually, is to see if NodeMon watches the views directory. It does. Oh my gosh, that's so useful. Okay, so if I change a very tiny little thing like this, oops. Oh no, I refreshed that. I don't know. All right, I totally screwed things up. Let me just start that again. All right, refresh. I totally picked up the change. I'm going to change it back to author, refresh again. Okay, it's not picking up my change. I can probably configure NodeMon so that it will pick up the change to my view folder, but it's just not in the cards for now. I'm really curious. Let's actually just do a little bit of research. Man. So NodeMon, let's look at documentation. Ooh, here we go. Package.json. NodeMon config. Ignore. I don't want to ignore anything. I want to include things. NodeMon. Ooh, modern multiple directories. Watch app. Here we go. NodeMon -- watch views. Does that work? Let's see. Oh, watching users bend code node-blog views. Looks like it'll work now. All right, so let's change this. Well, let's refresh the page. Boop, doop, doop. And just re-enter that bad thing. All right, let's refresh. Oh, come on, NodeMon. Come on. One sec. Okay, so it looks like we're just stuck for now, because I'm not willing to invest too much time into this. Just rebooting our server when we change our template. Luckily, it's not going to be that much. Oh, my wife saw a cockroach, so I need to go handle that real quick. I will be back in 2 bats of it. I don't know what. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay. I'm back, and hopefully I will be able to edit out that long gap with iMovie, but maybe not. Who knows? If not, I'll try to find a way to make you skip that water texture. But it was, by the way, just a cricket, not a cockroach. Okay, so NodeMon, here we go. Why does it keep on saying, did it? Okay, I'm not going crazy. It's really not working. All right, good. Okay. I mean, not good. I wish it did work, but whatever. All right, so we also need label 4 equals title. And then, ooh, we don't even need this field because we're going to have someone logged in. So to do, remove this field and use the currently logged in person. Okay, so you don't want to be able to set an author. You want it to just take from the current author. All right, so label 4 title, title, label, input type equals text again, name equals title, ID equals title. Okay, and finally we have label 4 equals content, content, slash label, input type equals text area. I believe that's it. It's either that or the element is text area itself. Luke is probably screaming at his screen right now. Content, and then ID equals content. Let's refresh the app. Boom. Yeah, looks like the whole thing is, this is text area. And the input, the type equals text area is invalid probably. Man, that's a big pain in the butt to have to restart every time. Oh God, what did I do? Does this need a closing tag? Is that why? There we go. Yay. All right. So now what I kind of want to do is have these fields stack. So that's my next goal, is to make them stack instead of being next to each other. So I'm going to write a little bit of CSS. This isn't the primary focus. Actually, to write CSS, that means I need to set up my old static files directory. Oh goodness. So I'm going to do, instead of that, I'm just going to, well, you know what? Maybe it's worth it. Let's just do it. That's not too big of a deal. All right, so what we need here is a public directory. Boop, public. So we have, usually inside that, we have something called styles. And usually there's something called styles.css. All right, so here's some stuff. So let's just say body background color is blue. All right, so just to prove that it works. So to include this, we need actually a head element. All right, so we need a link, rel equals style sheet, href equals styles.css. Okay. So this is not going to work at first because we don't have our static assets directory set up. So if we refresh this, we should see, yep, 404 for styles.css. However, what we can do is configure express. So this is, maybe split this up. So requiring our models. This is setting up our view engine. And down here is establishing our public assets directory. All right, so I think what this is app.set. No, it's got something to do with static. Maybe it's express? No, app.set. No, all right, I need to look this up. Express static assets. Serving static files in Express. I feel bad. Okay, app.use express.static public. This is what I'm looking for. All right, app.use express.static public. Let's go look at my public directory for my assets. Oh, and the URL is not /styles, it's styles/styles.css. Okay, so it's because it's inside the styles directory of the public directory. The more you know. All right, so NodeMon should have picked up that change, but I'm doing that anyway. Refresh, and it's blue. So now we know it works. Perfect. Here comes the hard part, actually writing the CSS. First things first, that's a really intense shade of blue, so I'm going to tone it down a notch So that's, I don't want blue, I want light blue, maybe. That's better. Okay, you could use the hex code, but that's for pros. I'll leave that to you front end pros. Refresh the page. Here, now it's light blue. So if I check out this guy, let's actually make this a little smaller. All right, so why is this showing up all in one line? Okay. All right, so this label is display. There's no, I don't know what display that is. All right, so input display inline block. So this is, these are all inline block. Looks like inline block, inline block. All right, so that's why they're all showing up in one line, because they're all inline block. But if they're all inline block, I could make them all block level, or I could just specify a width on the form. So let's see, let's experiment with that. That's probably the easiest thing to do. Width, 500 pixels. Okay, maybe 200 pixels. Oh, again, probably Luke is yelling at me right now through his screen. It's probably like a fancy Flexbox way of doing this, but oh, yeah. If I do this wrong, it is indeed putting these things in weird places. All right, let's just hack this together. It looks pretty good at 206 pixels, so let's keep it at that. So let's make the form width 206 pixels. All right, refresh. All right, I'm refreshing, so there we go. And also, let's change this tagline because that's dumb. So let's change this to welcome to my interblag. Okay. And then refresh. Oh, that's my mustache, so it's not going to refresh automatically. Thanks for nothing, Nodemon. Okay. So, oh, and I forgot a button. I need a button to submit all that stuff. All right. Input type equals submit. You could also use a button here. And that will also submit the form because it's inside of a form. Okie dokie. So we have our form that is going to do the post submission. We have our static assets set up. We have everything in place. All right, so now what we need to do is have our, when we submit a post request, let's refresh. Gosh, I hate when I do stuff like that. Refresh. So we have a submit button here. This doesn't do anything right now because we haven't set up that mapping yet. So let's look at this mapping. So we need to accept the post request, and then after it posts the thing, we redirect back to the home page. All right, should be pretty straightforward. But first, we need to configure node. Remember, we have to use the, let's close it, npm install body parser. And we'll go up here while that's installing, and we'll say const body parser equals require body parser. Okay, so we'll go down here. We'll say adding middleware to our requests so that we can easily retrieve the value of each request's body if it has one, like in a post request. Okay. All right, so I think what we're doing here is doing app.use body parser extended false. Let's see if that works. It might not. My brain is not doing the things right now. So let's do, let's make this our routes. section, like routes, just say routes. And then booting up server. So in this routes area, I'll say app.post/posts. I'm going to post the posts, rec res. What I'm going to do for now, at first, is just say console.log rec.body. That's where our form data is going. So if our middleware is not set up properly, we'll know immediately. Again, take things step by step. Run my server. Chug, chug, chug. Oh wait, that's npm installing again. I'm dumb. Nodemon. Here we go. Refresh. Uh-oh. Oh, I never sent a response back. However, so that's the reason why, let's see, it's hanging up here. But you do see it did console.log author, title, and content, which have empty values, which means, well, this object still exists. That means we set up our body parser middleware successfully. So that's good. I just need to res.send. We need a res.redirect, actually, was the idea. Redirect to the home page. All right. So refresh. Oh, I need to restart the server, I guess, because it was stuck. So refresh this post, takes me back to the home page. So now if I hit submit, just endlessly takes me back to the home page after it logs what I submit. So I'll just do this author, banana, title. I love bananas, content, heart, bananas. Copy, paste, 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 paste. Select all, copy, paste, 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 paste. Submit. All right. So here we go. Author, banana, title, I love bananas, content, heart, bananas, a lot of times. All right, so it looks like we're getting our data from our front end correctly. Thank goodness. Okay. So what I'm going to do, actually, is be clever with this and see if it bites me in the butt later. So I'm going to do blog post.create. I'm going to pass it the request body, since that is the same object that I would pass in here anyways. Let's see if this works out for us. All right. So we'll go back here. We'll say author Ben, title, fruit, content, heart, fruits, submit. Oh, check it out. Insert into blog posts, ID, title, create, update at with values returning fruit. Oh, that's interesting. It looks like it only injected title. And that's it. Why did it do that? Oh, you know what? Probably these fields don't match up properly. That's why. The only one that matches is content, if I had to guess. All right, so let's compare our blog posts. We have contents here in title and author name. Silly Benjamin. All right, so let's say we have author name, title, contents. Author name, rec.body.author. Title, rec.body.title. Contents, rec.body.content. All right, there we go. So the field name is here. It's not the same as the schema, so that's the reason why I had to do that. All right, refresh. Say Ben, title, hi, content, hello, submit. All right, insert into blog post, ID, author name, title, contents created at, values, Ben, hi, hello, and then all this other nonsense, gobbledygook. All right, so it looks like we have our blog posts. So let's go ahead and just delete that first blog post. Select star from blog posts, delete the first one. Delete from blog posts where ID is 1. All right, so now we just have that one valid one that we created. So now what we got to do is on our home page, find all the blog posts, and write HTML that views them. All right, so that's pretty simple. So on our home page, before we res.render index, let's say we want to do blog post.find, and then we want to res Nope, that's not rec-res. That's data. All right. This should work. Oh, you know what? I think it might be find all actually. Find all. Yeah. Find all enter index. And it's posts the data that we got back from that call to find all. All right. So go to our index. We'll say posts. And we'll say each blog post has post by author name, title, and then content. All right. Let's give this some HTML. So post by, let's give this a, I don't know what, help me. Okay, let's make this a list. So we have a UL, we're wrapping around this guy. All right. So for each post that exists, we're going to make an LI. This has a span. Let's say it has 3 spans in it. So here's a span. It's probably some specific HTML element for author, but I am not the front end dude. /li. So each post lists out this HTML. Let's reboot our web server. We should see how many? Let's look at the database first. Just one. We have one thing here. Refresh. Post by Ben, title hi, content hello. And so we post another one. This is Ben again. Title happy face, happy face, happy face, happy face. Submit. There we go. Pretty cool. You know what I'm curious about is if I put like a greater than sign here. So if I inject HTML into this, what's it going to do? I'm curious. So let's do something like this. Let's do like slash that, and then slash form slash body submit. Huh, looks like it encoded it successfully, so it didn't jack up anything. Let's see. So when we injected it, we'll have to take a look at this later. Tried to make this all jacked up, but it looks like it handled it like a champ. Oh, you know what? I bet the browser automatically submits this as encoded data. All right, don't worry about that. Let's even delete this. That's not worth studying. Let's go delete from blog posts where ID is 4. Let's just forget I ever tried that. And refresh our page. All right, it's gone forever. All right, so the next thing I want to do is add session. So we installed the session dependency in our package.json right here. So session is middleware. So adding session to our middleware. So first of all, let's require const session equals require express session. And then I'm not even gonna like try with this because it's like a few things and there's like a default setup. Express session config. I did it again. God. Jesus Christ. Express session, require express session options. There we go. App.use session with all this stuff. All right. Boop. Adding session. Let's say adding session middleware so that we can rely on a specific user. Okay. So I'm gonna do like not the default thing, but add our own bullcrap there. So this will configure our app to use session. So we've configured our app to use session. This is the session middleware. This is the body parser middleware. Remember, the middleware is stuff that runs in between your code and the client to make sure your code has the right things it needs to do its job. Like, we're using the static file middleware to look at the public directory. The body parser middleware, this will add the rec.body to our request objects. And this will add request.session to our request objects. All right, so let's do this. Let's say, let's confirm this works. Let's close this, rerun it. All right, looks like it booted up successfully. That's good. And then let's say if request.session.user is equal to null, or maybe undefined, because the key doesn't exist at all, then res.redirect to /login. Else, do this. All right. So if there is no user, we go to the login page. Otherwise, we find all the blog posts, and when we're done doing that, we render the index. Seems pretty straightforward. Let's just do node-mon server.js. All right. Cannot get /login. Okay, so it tried to redirect us, but there is no /login page, so that's a problem. We did agree that we would have a login page, if I remember correctly. Let's look at our documentation. Get page login. There is a get, and we also need a post to login to post our stuff. All right. So let's do that. Oh my goodness. Getting kind of sleepy. It's around 1 o'clock. That's okay. All right, here's our routes. We have posts and get. Let's make a hit page app.get for /login. Function rec.res. And then let's say here, res.render login. Okie dokie. So for now, I'm just going to render the login page. And I'm also not going to worry too much about duplication of code here. Luke will go into partials in his class. So I'm going to make a new file here called login.mustache. And then just paste most of that code in there and delete the stuff that has to do with posts and say, maybe we'll change this to like, please log in. And then we'll do, this is a post request /login. And then let's say, you should label for, let's just remove all that guy. Form to post to login. So we have user, password, title, it's user, password. All right. Ooh, I must have deleted the end of the form post thingy. Oh no, it's all the way down here. That was not good. Gotta change that. I'll get rid of that. All right, so now this is a form post login. Apparently I put this UL inside the form. That's not good. Let's put that here. Oop, here. Okay, so we have our, on index.mustache, we display our posts, and on login.mustache, we have a login page. So let's reboot our server. Then try to go back to the home page. Please log in. So we can't go to the home page without being redirected to the login page. I'm dumb. Forgot to change the label and this text area thing. So let's do that. So login is not a text area. It's input type equals password, name equals password, and ID equals password. So this is password. This is user. Okie dokie. Excuse me. Refresh. All right, here we go. User and password. All right. So if I submit this, still don't handle the login for post requests. So I guess I'll go back here. Server.js app.post/login function request response. All right, so the thing is here, we have a relationship now if we want to do this the right way. So we need to create an idea of a user. So let's go back to the drawing board with our models. We just have blog post now. Let's add user. We have ID, int, this is not a string, int. We have name, so we just like reference maybe a user. Like this is going to be a relationship. All right. So if name is Ben, or name is a string, and there's a, let's say a relationships. Let's add a part about relationships. Relationships. User has many blog posts. Blog post belongs to user. All right. All right, let's add our user schema. Let's use our blog post as an example. Let's make another model here called user.js. Okay. We're connecting twice here. That might be a problem, but we'll handle that problem when it happens. All right, so you have user here. You have user, let's say user, you have name, and then that's it really. The other things we have on user I think are, if I remember correctly, yeah, just name. So it's a string that is required. Yep. Oh, password. Duh. Password. I wonder if SQLite has a password model type. Let's see. Model definition, SQLite dot password. No. Secure. No. Okay. SQLite password variable. Okay, UID, I could do that. No. Okay, screw this. It's just a string. We're not going to go that far into it. Password required true type SQLite. I could use the bcrypt. Okay, never mind. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to avoid what's called scope creep. I'm going to export user here, and then hopefully we'll be good to go. Let's try it out. I have a feeling this isn't going to work properly in a little bit, but let's take that as it comes. So const user equals require dot slash model slash user. Probably going to get synchronization errors. No, because they don't know about each other, so they can sync simultaneously without problems. Let's see. Post. All right. So the post request is set up. The connection is set up. It just, I don't do anything on post right now, so it's never sending a response back, so the server is hanging. Okay. All right, so that's step one. Not step one, that's step a billion. Let's make a default user just using Postgres. So, we need to establish relationships first before we do that. We're not done doing this. So let's say user dot belongs, no, has many blog posts. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to require blog post equals require dot blog post. I wonder if this is going to work. Probably not very well if I had to guess. So blog post here. Blog post dot belongs to user const user equals require dot slash user. This is a circular dependency, so blog post and user rely on each other. So hopefully Node is smart enough to handle this gracefully, but I'm probably doing something very wrong. User.hasMany called with something that's not a subclass of SQLize.model. Function.hasMany. User.hasMany. Blog post. Blog post. Well, export equals user. User.hasMany blog posts. Well, user.hasMany called something that's not a subclass of SQLize.model. I thought that's what we were doing when we did this. That's a subclass of SQLize.model. Something is fishy here. Let's look at establishing relationships in SQLize. So associations is what that is. So let's do hasMany so as to be as clear as possible. In the API reference below, add the name of the association to the method, e.g. for a user.hasMany project. Okay, so we have user.hasMany project. So blog post, user.hasMany blog post. So user hasMany user blog post is exported as well. Well, this is going to be it, isn't it? This is going to be the thing that gets me. SQLize hasMany. Const this.define. Swear to God, that's exactly what I'm doing. User belongs to company. This is SQLize.define. SQLize.define user. User belongs to company. Company. I'm calling SQLize.define on both of those guys. What the flying H? Dot / blog post, find user. Maybe what I need to do is call synchronize once on the server. So here, after it listens, I'll do SQLize. I don't even require SQLize here. So const SQLize require SQLize. Oh, new SQLize here. I don't like how I'm duplicating this code all over the place, but I guess it'll be okay. So I'm like, all right, sequelize dot sync. See if calling it once makes a difference. Nope. Oh, I've already declared sequelize. What? Oh, this. Okay, same thing. User that has many called with something that's not a subclass of sequelized model. Well, that seems just patently false. Let's look at it again. Let's see if we can remove that and have it still work. So removed it, rerun. Server ready to roll. So what that means is this worked just fine, but this did not. Well, okay. Well, let's look at our tables. Let's take a crack at like drop table users, drop table blog posts. GT. Oh, it's not synchronizing at all anymore. That's why. Server sequelize.sync. Maybe that needs to happen first. So let's do sync. Sync probably returns a promise. And then we'll listen as soon as it's done synchronizing. How about that? Looks like that worked, but it's still not doing anything. The H. Let's try this. Drop database, node blog, create database, node blog. All right, let's rerun. Connect to the node blog database, see the tables, nothing. Why is that failing? Why is that failing? Let's look at this. Sequelize is called sequelize sync after sync associations. Wait a minute. Sync. Adding constraints between tables means tables must be created in a database in a certain order. Okay. No. Run on Steam. I can do it. I can do it. Blog post belongs to user. Blog post. User has made blog post. Is it synchronize or is it sequelize capital S dot sync? Let's try that. No, it's not. That's not a function. Lowercase sequelize dot sync is a function, but it's not doing anything. Okay. Java is way better than this, for the record. Let's see here. You know what? Let's do this fancy thing here. I'm going to make a new file, index.js. I'm going to say require. Let's see. So const blog post equals require dot slash blog posts. Const user equals require dot slash user. And then I'm going to say, I'm going to define my associations in here. So blog post belongs to user, goes here. Okay. Then, so does user that has many blog posts. Okay. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to blog post.sync then user.sync. I think that'll work. /dt. We have no relations on node blog. Oh, I'm not requiring this file. So, all right, let's require the file. All right. So now that this change is made, I'm gonna do something really cool. Well, first of all, I'm gonna remove the reference to blog post here and remove the reference to user here. I'm gonna go here and module.exports equals blog post, and then user. Okay, and then require that here in our server. Now check this out. Get rid of both of these guys. I'll say const blog post, comma, user equals require dot slash models. Nice. Looks like it might be working. Oh, wait, did I do that the wrong way? Did it the wrong way. User.sync, then blog post.sync. Cannot read property options if undefined. Unhandled rejection. So create the users table. All right. Let's see here. Server.js. No. Made our users table. Let's just do user.sync Let's see if that works first before we do anything. Okay, that worked. Then going to, let's just see if doing it this fancy way was the problem. Blog post.sync. Oh, it looks like that was the problem. I didn't like that. Okay. So after we sync, after that, we have this function, oh God, which will then sync the blog posts. So if we go and look at our relations now, we see we have blog posts. If we see the internals of blog posts, we see that there's a user key references user ID. So we can get rid of author name actually on blog posts. Blog posts, get rid of author name, reference as a user now. And then also, you know what, I don't like the fact that we're repeating this a bunch, this thing here. So what I'm going to do is drop this in its own require statement. So I'm going to do require./db. No. Because I need both of these guys. Ooh, but you know what? I could just do. Oh my gosh, this is pretty cool. So I'm gonna do here. I'm make a new file here in my models directory. Oh gosh, this is huge. And models, I'm gonna do db.js. I'm gonna paste this code here. I'm gonna put this connection information in there. So if I change it, it only needs to change once. I'm going to module.exports equals sequelize. Comma, semicolon. So in blog post, I have const sequelize equals require./db. I have the same call in here in my user file, and also in my server. So this is actually not ./db, that would be models.db, /models.db. All right. Require models here. Do we even need a call to sequelize here? Oh my gosh, I don't think we do. Let's just get rid of it and see what happens. Just need to require models. That's pretty much it. Okay, so we required our models, and let's rerun the app. Looks like it's flying. All right, so I'm gonna drop table users, drop table. Oh, okay, drop table blog posts, drop table users. I'm gonna restart the web app and confirm that see those users exist again. So let's look at blog posts. Looks like it's got ID, title, contents, create at, user ID, and then if we look at the user table, so it's referenced, this user table is referenced by the blog post table. Looks like we're good to go. Nice. This is looking pretty legit. All right. So all that to say, if we log in, we need to say user.find1, where the username, I call it username, call it name, where the name is same as request.body.name. Did I say name or username in the form? Let's open up the mustache file, login.mustache. I said user. So user and password are the values. Find one name, user, password, correct up by password. Then function. So after we find one, let's add some new lines here so this looks a little nicer. So when we go and find that stuff, we get the data back here. So I think the data will be null if it doesn't find anybody. So if data equals null, let's say if data does not equal null, then request.session.user equals data.id. I'm going to save the user ID in session. Let's see if this works. Otherwise, if it is null, that means you didn't find it. Let's just redirect. Res.redirect back to the login page to retry the login. All right. Close. User Ben, password pants, submit. It goes back to the login page. So it looks like Ben doesn't exist. So let's create Ben with the password pants. Insert into users, name, password, values, Ben, pants. Oh, I forgot to establish a default for those other two columns. So created at and updated at. Created at, updated at. I have to give the value now, I believe. Now. Column created at. A relation users does not exist. Oh, I've got to probably put this in quotes because SQL or Postgres is dumb. Postgres is not dumb, it's pretty awesome, but this is, okay, cool. So now, if I try to log in as Ben, I put in pants. It's hanging, so that means something probably went wrong on the server. Let's check it out. Oh, yeah. Model attributes, password, pass definer. The objects.where object is empty. So maybe I meant to do this. Where? All right. NodeMon reloaded automatically. Ben, pants. Okay. Ooh, looks like I didn't. Ooh, it successfully did it. So redirect back to the home page. I just forgot to submit a response. All right, so it's rebooting that. Let's try again. Ben, pants. Uh-oh, Ben, pants. Oh, you know what? I bet I am just being inconsistent with what I check. So it's user ID is what exists now. User ID. So now Ben, pants. Request.session.user ID equals data ID. Console.log data.id. Ben pants 2. Okay. So let's say on the home page, request.session isn't undefined because I'm defining it here. Request.session.userid. Request.session.userid looks the same. Let's print it out here. Console.log rec.session.user ID. All right, refresh, then pants, submit to undefined. So this is coming up as undefined, even though we're setting this here, request.session.userid, stage idea. The plot thickens. Oh, you know what? I remember this happened before. Insecure cookies. Insert insecure page. Cool. Cool. So now I'm logged in. Nice. So, geez Louise. Okay, so now that I have my author specified in my user, so now what I can do is remove that from my mustache file. So this is going to be removed. To remove this field, current user currently logged in person. We just added a logged in person, so let's remove that field. Refresh, user Ben, password pants. All right. So title, let's say, is hello world. Content is content. Oh, but this is going to fail. Post by nobody. All right. So what we got to do here is in this server, we're going to stop relying on the user that's been posted to us. So we don't want to get requests up by the author. And in fact, we don't even want to do this if we're not logged in. So let's say if request.session.userid is not equal to undefined. So if we have a user ID, we do all this. Well, first we need to find the user and then do this stuff. Otherwise, it's undefined. Let's do res.redirect to /login to redirect to the login page if you try to create a post without being logged in. But you don't see the form unless you're logged in, so this shouldn't ever really happen in practice. All right, so let's say user.findOne where ID is the same as request.session.userid. So we're going to find that. And then we have a function, the data that gets back. Let's just call this user in the scope of this to make it look more semantic. So let's break this up a little bit. So when we get our user back, we're going to say we're going to make a blog post and then redirect from inside here. All right. So we make a blog post with a user.name. Cool. Refreshing, relog in, hit submit. Title is pants, content, I love pants. Submit, post by, nothing. Looks like it messed it up. So let's make sure we have a valid user. It's Ben. Let's make sure we're rendering it properly here. Yeah. I feel like we need to user.author name. the user model has, oh, it is name, not author name. Oh, the post doesn't have author name anymore. Okay, I'm getting confused because it's late. We're creating a blog post. Instead of using blog post.create, what I'm going to do is say let blog, like let post equals new blog post, like so. Let's say post.user equals user. There we go. And so when I view it on the home page, it should not change. I might need to include something here, but we'll get across that bridge when we come to it. Because right now, I think what's going on is we select star from blog posts. It's probably nothing. There's no relationship specified. Yeah, there's no user ID in either one of those. So drop table blog posts, drop table users. Or rerun our app. Remix those tables. Oh, I need to re-add my user that I made. There we go. So we have refresh, Ben Pants, submit, title, hello, content, that, submit. Okay, looks like we may have a problem here. So when we post /post, what am I saving to session when I log in? Data.id, yeah. Okay. Sudo console.log here. That was the user we got back. Okay, now that. All right, so it looks like we have our user here. Post has, oh, I never saved the blog post. That's why. Post.save. Believe, or maybe it's blog post.save. Initialize. Let's just try to do post.save. Let's see if that works out for us. IntelliJ doesn't like, or Visual Studio Code doesn't like that much, but I think it's the right thing to do. All right. There we go, almost. Getting there. So let's look at the data. So select star from blog posts, enter. All right, so user ID still isn't set properly. So this isn't working the way I would expect. Maybe it's, maybe I need to do this. Post.set user. I'm logging in. Why did it submit twice? Okay, so just because it's not my author is not showing up here does not mean that the author doesn't exist in the database. Keep looking at the database. Okay, look, that's great. User ID is 1 in both of these guys. That means that was the right thing to do. SQLize creates this set user method for you. Perfect, 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 perfect. So it is saving this with the valid user data. All right. So let's drop table blog posts and rerun our server just to confirm. Refresh, bend pants, enter. Hello, content is content. It is submitting twice. So that is disconcerting. Why are there 2 posts in here? Oh my goodness. Why are there 2 posts? One has nothing in it. I'm not like making a brand new. No? Let's see, create. Nothing. Well, there's only one way to find out. Let's just remove this call to save and see what happens. Refresh, log in. Okay. So when I hit submit to this form, something is being saved somehow. Is it here in this constructor? No, it can't be. So posts. So when I post here, if there is a user, it finds a session. So then it makes this post and sets the user and then redirects. So let's get rid of this and see if it still does anything. Well, first let's refresh this. Okay, so it doesn't add a new one every time. Log in again. Okay, looks like we may have an error. Post is not defined. Oh, silly me. Okay. Log in. Okay, so it doesn't make a new one anymore. But if I have this, if I do this thing I was doing, it automatically saves it? No, it doesn't automatically save it. So let's do post.save down here. All right, so it's just saving once. So is it called a set user that is doing that? That's weird. All right, let's try again. All right, so when I call set user, it is saving 2 blog posts. All right, let's do this. Belongs to team. This section describes the various association types in SQLite. When calling methods such as has one project, we say that the user model is the source, the product is the target. One-to-one associations are associated exactly between 2 models connected by a single foreign key. Blah, blah, blah. SQLite belongs to has role. So I don't think there's get. Let's see, get is a bad thing. Maybe set. Oh, check it out. In order to do this, you have to say, you have to have this as thing here. So then you can have the getters and setters. That's really strange. All right, so we have in our index.js, we should have, no, yeah. Blog post belongs to user as user. Then this is as posts. Okay. All right, so let's delete from blog posts. So we have no more blog posts. Refresh, log in. Uh-oh, did I break login? Yeah, I did. Column user ID doesn't exist. Oh, Jesus Christ. Did I do that wrong? No, didn't do it wrong. As father, has one person as father. Belongs to as. Column user ID doesn't exist? Yeah, it does. Oh, you know what? I bet it has to do with this. That might need to be lowercase. That would be silly. But it's what it was. Okay, so it tried to generate a column name automatically based off of capitalization, and it was failing because there was no capital U user ID. I'm glad I picked up on that. All right. Refresh, login, title. Okay, that still did two things. Why is this happening like this? All right. Hmm. Okay, let's do equalize association getters. Okay, association, let's equalize save association. Wait a minute. So in order for me to associate post with user, post has to exist. Let's see if this works the way I anticipate. So I'm going to drop all the data from blog posts again. Refresh, log in. Nope, still doing it. Well, why don't we just do that? Let's remove the call to save. Just do set user. Refresh. Log in again. Okay. But the problem is that now that is just a blank object. So, gosh. Okay, so sequelize association setter, use setter, or setter example. Let's do that, setter example. There we go. Okay, how about this? Association is equal as example. So we're defining this. This is taking way too long. I wish this just seems like I wish there was just an example that Sequelize had. Okay. Associations. Let's try this one more time. So now you'll get project get initiator and project set initiator. It's not blog post.set user, is it? Oh gosh. There's no way this can work. So I'm going to try it and watch it fail. Yeah, totally broke. Blog post.set user is not a function. Right, because set user exists on this post object. Oh my god. Okay, in this example, has one will add an attribute product ID to the user model. Okay, furthermore, prototype will, so the project will gain the methods getUser and setUser according to the first parameter passed to define. Okay, so it looks like I don't need this after all. That's just a ruse. Oh, is this only if the name is different do we have to do that? So we don't have to have as, but it still doesn't fix our problem of why it saves two things. So we have post. So save. Okay, looks like here we go. This is interesting. So we have a project here and then 2 tasks. So we're calling set tasks on this. So, okay. Set user. Okay, maybe that's happening. So I'm going to do set user, and then when that's finished, and then redirect. Maybe something funky is going on with not waiting for the promise or something like that. No, that's definitely not right. So sequelize new model without saving. Person.build. Gosh. Blog post.build. So after I save the post, then I want to set the user. Then function post.setUser user. I think that's it. All right, then after it's saved, and I want to redirect here. Let's just do redirect to the home page here for now. See if that works. Does anything fancy. All right. Okay, we have our content back. Let's check our blog post to see if everything. I just deleted everything. All right, select our from blog posts. All right, we're properly associating it. All right, so now we just need to be able to get the user back when we retrieve the data. So get request to the home page, find all post data. So index should say user.name instead of author name. Looks like we need to include here, find all, include user. We're going to include the user data along with our post data when we retrieve our posts. Post by Ben. Nice. Oh my lord. Man. Okay. I want to do one last thing. This is way more of a doozy than I ever thought it would be. Started this at like 11 o'clock. It's now here, it's 2 a.m. This is like a freaking 3-hour movie. So what I want to do is view one individual blog post. All right. So I go here to index.mustache, and for each one of these guys, I want to have this be a link actually to that specific post. So post by here. Let's just do it on the title, right? Let's do ahref equals /posts /ID. And then what's the title? A, like that. So now if I refresh the page, log in. So that links to posts 13 and 14. But if I go there, we don't have a page set up yet to support that. So I'm going to take this, actually, this one little snippet. Well, I'm going to take this whole page, actually. Be better. So we have index.mustache and login.mustache. Let's do post.mustache. All right. So I don't need a form on this. Let's get rid of that. Don't need a list. Let's get rid of that. This needs to be just posts instead of posts. We're just rendering one post. We don't need an li. Maybe we need a, well, we just deleted lots of stuff. When did I do that? Delete like the body and everything. Silly Benjamin. Oh, there was never a body, or never a closing body tag. Oh, well, that was a problem. Yeah, I definitely need a closing body tag. All right. So we don't need a form. We don't need a list item because we are just displaying one blog post, not a bunch of them. And so we can call the data that we're displaying posts instead of posts. So we can get rid of this li and that li. And we can get rid of this link because we're already on that page. We don't need to link to it again. And then let's add like a link down here at the bottom that says like ahref equals / go home a, like so, right? Okay. Post by user.name, title, contents. Okay. So what I want to do is stand up my GET request to /post /post ID. So I do app.get /post /ID :ID rather. We have function request response. All right. So I'm going to blog post.find one where the ID matches request.params.id. Actually, that's the where object. Sorry, where ID matches that. All right. And then include, I'll include the user data alongside that. So let's split this up a little bit more. So we get that where clause going on there, and that include clause going on there. So let's do then function post. We'll do res.render post, and the post is going to be post. All right. So if post is not equal undefined, then we do that rather. Else, oh God, spelled that wrong. Else we didn't find a post, so it's res.redirect back to the home page. We went to an invalid page essentially, invalid blog post page. So go to post 13. Here we go. Go back home. Let's log back in again. Let's go home. Here is a legit thing, content, this stuff. There we go. That's number 15. That's all the data. Go back. Okay. I think that is all I'm really willing to do now. pretty tired. It's 2 o'clock in the morning, so I think I'm going to call this one off and call this a win. So we did basically what we wanted to do. All right, I'll post this code, and then I'll talk to you guys tomorrow morning. Have a good night or day. See you soon. Bye.